as far as agricultural development is concerned on the continent, in relation to trade, what we trade is the excess of what we produce in all our countries. And all that we produce is largely on land, if not exclusively on land, whether you are talking about crop production, livestock production, even fisheries, all that take place on land. And so before we trade, we have to produce, and produce in excess, and all that takes place on land. And so the discussion has to be, what policies and land governance architecture do we need to have in place to ensure that we can produce enough on the continent to be able to trade? That's one. Number two, to be able to produce, we need to ensure that there is adequate access to land by our farmers that want to produce. But not just access, we also need to ensure that there is tenure, security of tenure. In other words, you are on a piece of land and you have rights to that land for the long haul, so that you can be able to invest with confidence on that land. So the discussions that are taking place in this conference are around these issues. How do we ensure that people that want to produce have access to land on which to produce, but also as they produce, they need to have security of tenure on that land. That's one aspect. Number two, to be able to facilitate trade, you have to have infrastructure that facilitates that trade. Roads, okay? Factories where you add value addition. So access to land to develop roads, construct roads, access to land to construct factories, again with security of tenure, are some of these issues that we want to ensure that are discussed in this conference. We have 55 AU member states. They have different land tenure and policies across the continent. So we want to see what lessons and practices that are happening in different countries that can be shared, so that different countries can learn from each other on best practices.